Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, baby, baby? Hey, I'm Terrell, Hall of Fame, D-Line, TBKC, and all that other good This one is requested. Good question. About a bitch. About a bitch. But about your bitches when they are pregnant. It's a process that I typically go through from start to finish. Of course, when I know a bitch is close to getting in season, I make sure, if I have not done so, that she is taken care of as far as deworming goes. I make sure that she is taken care of as far as anything with parasites. I make sure that we are all the way up on that, and of course, you should try to stay up on that. Anyway, something that I do that a lot of people don't do, but I go through a little process of giving antibiotics, and this is my thing. I've done it for years. Somebody showed me this years ago, but I'll give generally amoxicillin and cephalexin for about a 2-week span, lower milligrams, just because, and then I'll replenish the system with a lot of natural things. Like I keep the apple cider vinegar in the water, which also keeps fleas away but kills bacteria, and I give them the good bacterias also, so that they can rebuild the gut back up, and more so on a vitamin basis after that. Now that's leading up to the pregnancy, just to make sure that there's no infections or parasites. After being bred, the thing that I do, and I recommend that everybody do it, is don't go crazy on the diets. It's a couple things that you can do. For one, switch your dog to puppy food. Generally, I switch my dogs to a puppy food. If they're on a raw diet, I just give them a little more, which I'm one of the breeders who do feed kibble and raw. But if you're on a raw diet, give them more carbohydrates, more fat, because they need that actually more than they need the protein. Second of all, one of the things that I would do as the pregnancy progresses is I like to add in yogurt or cottage cheese to the diet to enrich the calcium, and that also helps with the production of the milk. Now, one thing I will tell you is that, just like a woman, a dog's actually calorie intake and nutritional needs doesn't change dramatically during a pregnancy. You need a little extra, but you don't want to go over the top to where your female is getting fat because you're just stuffing her, and they're saying it's the best for the pregnancy. Because what sometimes can happen, if the bitch gets overweight during pregnancy, it can make her labor a lot more difficult. And you have to remember that these females will be breathing hard, pushing hard. It's a workout to have puppies, So you want to keep the bitch as in physically good condition as you can during this pregnancy. Small things that you can do outside of the cottage cheese and the yogurts. Some people use a cow goat milk replacer, which has higher calories, of course. But a lot of people sprinkle it over the food, and this will generally be the same milk replacer that they might use when they're weaning the puppies to sprinkle over the kibble or whatever to mix in and get the puppies going as far as their eating program goes. That's another way to add the calories. Some people tend to go with a little bit of rice for extra carbohydrates. Brown rice is better. Sweet potatoes is also a good form of carbohydrates. A lot of people love the pumpkin, putting the pumpkin in there definitely is good for the dogs. And I notice with the pumpkin, it tends to settle a lot of upset stomachs also. These are all small things, but I remind you, a basic good puppy food, which is higher in all of the vitamins that's needed, because puppies need more vitamins to grow, and your daily vitamin, which I don't go and buy the super expensive vitamins, because compare them and you'll see. I buy the vitamins right from Walmart. I think they're like $8 for a bottle of daily vitamins, and I keep them with those, and I've had very, very good success. My females have bounced back good after the pregnancy. The puppies are good, and it's on point. I think one of the things we also have to remember before I log off of here, and I want to remind you of this, is it's very important especially once the female hits the 30-35 day area, to start your deworming process again. These females just, they're going to have worms. You know, it's hard to keep them without the worms. But, you know, whether you're doing it naturally or whether you're doing it with some, you know, dewormer or whatever, after 35 days, it's safe again. As most people agree, it's safe again after 35 days. Somebody's going to argue that. But, you know, I deworm them then, and what I do is I typically start a routine that carries out until the puppies are leaving, to deworm every 2 weeks. You know, parasites can be a big, you know, more so than feeding, the parasites can be a big problem as far as your puppy's health goes, because the parasites are taking away all the nutritional value. So remember, although you're slightly upping the calorie intake and the fat intake, it is imperative that you make sure that your dogs are parasite free, or unless all of the extra that you're doing is going to be in vain and your puppies are going to end up sickly, possibly anemic, and at the worst case scenario, possibly die from the issues that come about from this. And we definitely don't want that. But hopefully this video helped out somebody, you know what I mean? Like I tell y'all in overview, you don't need to add a ton, just add a lot and stay on top of the parasite control, and you'll have some nice healthy fat puppies. When it comes time to weaning, I wean with ground beef, ground chicken. You know, I do use kibble. I mix that kibble in there, milk replacer. And I'm gonna tell you, I was about to get off, but I'm gonna tell you before y'all log off here, if you have struggling puppies during this process, and it's also something you can give the mom if you don't like the mom weight. What I typically do is I take, just this is an example, I use my blender, I take one of the small, you know, the bigger carton of fatty yogurt, not the non-fat stuff, but just plain yogurt. I put that in the blender. I put 6 to 8 eggs in the blender, and I put about, I say 3 or 4 spoons of or squirts of Karo syrup into the blender, and I use whole milk, you know, and I put the whole milk in there and blend it up, and it comes out like a formula. You can pour this over the kibble, and it's good for the it's good for your female. Or when you have puppies that are struggling, this formula has actually worked for me a lot better than the mixed and pre-made formulas that other people have. I like this formula because I've seen my puppies that were struggling and not getting on the size actually blow up in a 3 or 4 day span, to where you can see they're getting a measurable type of size. But it's very rich in calories. You know, you got to think about it. Eggs are ton of calories, tons of vitamins, the fatty powers of the yogurt, Karo syrup for the sugar qualities and carbohydrates, and you know, so it's very packed. And you know, whole milk has a lot of vitamins in there. And no matter what anybody tries to argue with you that you have to get goat milk, you can get goat milk, but I've used whole milk for a long time and had no problems with my dogs. So you know, I'm just basing it off of what I do. But like I say, I jumped around in this video, but hopefully the information helps you if you're weaning a litter. And if you have any questions, man, you know, hit me up. 346-349-9840 is probably easier to text me, but I do try to answer as many questions as I can and help out as much as I can. But until next time, man, God bless y'all. Peace.